You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Friday nights with me, Nautica de la Cruz, on Later with Mo Kelly. First and foremost, I must say, Mo Kelly, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Feliz Año Nuevo.
Feliz Año Nuevo.
There you go. I'm glad you didn't say Happy New Year's, because that's annoying me. That annoys
Feliz
me.
Año Nuevos.
All right, well, it is a new year, and it is that time to just get out and explore. And so for Discover SoCal, I went to the Marciano Art Foundation. I'm sure you've worn Guess jeans, right?
Not since 1986.
Well, the Marciano Art Foundation in Los Angeles is housed in a former Masonic temple built in 1961. This historic building was transformed into an art space by the Marciano brothers. So if you wore those Guess jeans, Maurice and Paul are both the co-founders of the brand Guess, who envisioned this contemporary art collection to the public. Opened in 2017, I believe. The foundation quickly became a cultural hub, hosting a variety of innovative exhibitions. And currently, they have this exhibit, I should say. It's the Lighthouse exhibit by Doug Aitken, and it is absolutely mesmerizing. It is beautiful. It is filled with lights, and it has sound, and it has space, and it just has this immersive installation. It has LED panels and a projection to create an environment that feels both futuristic and deeply meditative. Now, as you walk through the exhibit, I do suggest that you pay attention to absolutely everything. Just, kind of inhale the beauty of it and inhale the art. You're surrounded by shifting patterns of light that reflect off walls and surfaces, creating a kaleidoscope. You know what that is, right?
Absolutely.
So it's a kind of a kaleidoscope effect. The soundscapes accompanying the visuals enhance the experience, pulling visitors into a multi-sensory exploration of perception and time. One of the most striking installations in the exhibit is a corridor of mirrored walls illuminated by vibrant, ever-changing light sequences. When I say do not miss on anything, do not. It is a little, I want to say the effect is a little kind of hypnotic, making visitors feel as though they are walking through this kind of infinite space. Atkins' ability to merge art and technology is on the full display there, and it's amazing. Another highlight is a central room featuring a large-scale projection of abstract imagery. The visuals, paired with a rhythmic audio backdrop, kind of feels... It's like an ode to beauty, and it just like modern life at the same time. Visitors often find themselves lingering, captivated by the ever-evolving patterns and immersive atmosphere. Now, the Marciano Art Foundation's permanent collection features works by artists that I've never heard from, but I did get to see: Jeff Koons, Cindy Sherman, and Takahishi Murakami. I hope I got that right. Showcasing bold and provocative themes. Also housing a repurposed Masonic temple. The space retains original elements like its grand auditorium and murals, and you could find a lot of history up there on the second floor. Tickets for the Lightscape, Doug Aitken exhibit can be reserved at the Marciano Art Foundation website. It is absolutely free $99. Now, I do have to say that the exhibit...
Wait.
Yes.
How much was it again?
It was free $99.
Just want to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes. Now, the exhibit is open only Thursdays through Sunday. So it's 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. So Sunday's the only day. I know some people like to go out on on Mondays or Tuesdays if they have the day off. But it's only open Thursday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., offering an ample opportunity to experience its brilliance. Like I said, it's free. And I want to say that this isn't your typical museum, Mo. It is very futuristic. It's modern. It's bold. It's different. You just have to go and check it out and see it for yourself, because I have been to a lot of museums here in Los Angeles that I've explored and Discover SoCal, and I haven't seen one quite like it. And if you know the little history of Maurice and Paul Marciano, the co-founders of Guess, You could see in their clothing how they were always kind of different. You know, in the 90s, they were very popular. If you had a pair of Guess jeans, I remember you were like, oh, you got money. You know, one of those things.
Oh, it was a status symbol. Most definitely.
It really was a status symbol because jeans were like, I mean, you know, they were like $50, $55, and back
which was
then,
a lot back then.
It was a lot.
My mother said, no, you cannot have all those name brand jeans like Gerbeau and Guess and what have you. No.
My mother said the same thing, but you know, it was that emblem in the back of the jean that was that upside down triangle, and if you saw somebody wearing those, you were like, oh, they're hip.
Yeah, they were the in crowd.
I do want to say that the exhibit is only here till March 15th, 2025. And if you'd like to get tickets, you'd like to get some more information or look at the art, you could go to marcianoartfoundation.org. The address is 4357 Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And just take it all in. You know, it's like I said, it's the new year. Get out there, see new places. And, you know, that's what it's all about. We were trying to discover every little corner of Southern California.
You have actually interested me in to go see a little more of Southern California. This is something else that I had no idea, which was right here under our noses.
Well, you know, so it's on the corner of Wilshire and I believe 6th. So you know the building because it was a former Masonic temple. So when you look at the building, you're like, oh, okay, I've seen this building trillions of times when I'm driving on Wilshire, but it's not that anymore. It's actually an art museum, and the brothers decided to, you know, put their collection in there. So it's very intricate, it's bold, it's fun. It's one of those that when you leave, you'll definitely have a good conversation about the art pieces that you saw. So I suggest you definitely go check it out.
When we come back, we'll have the hidden gem for this week from Nautica De La Cruz, his Friday Nights with Nautica, on Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
It's Friday Nights with Nautica De La Cruz on Later with Mo Kelly. And today's hidden gem is Taylor Ginnens. Taylor Ginnens was a referral from Angela Juarez. Thank you so very much for reaching out to me. Taylor Ginnens grew up in Michigan, a place where winters bite hard and snow seems endless. We're so very thankful we don't live there. From a young age, he dreamed of escaping the cold, making a mark as an actor. When he turned 23, Taylor packed his bags and headed right here to Los Angeles, chasing that dream of Hollywood to become an actor and, you know, the promises of warm days and bright lights and sunshine. At first, life in LA felt like a new beginning, but the city's glamour masked its challenges. Taylor's dream began to crumble when he fell in the wrong crowd. Acting gigs never materialized, and he found himself drifting from odd jobs to another. Over time, bad habits took hold, and he eventually lost his footing entirely, ending up homeless on the streets of Los Angeles. One pivotal night, Taylor fell asleep on the steps of a church. The next morning, the church's groundskeeper gave him a few dollars and suggested he try a nearby shelter. With winter approaching, even a mild one right here by LA standards, not too bad, but, you know, Michigan is absolutely different. He decided to go. He made his way to the Los Angeles Mission, a haven for those seeking a second chance. And the mission, he encountered compassionate staff who listened without judgment and offered a plan for recovery. Through their rehabilitation programs, he began to rebuild his life step by step. It wasn't an easy journey. Setbacks came often, but so did small victories. Slowly, Taylor learned to trust himself again. Though his dream of acting never came to fruition, he found steady work as a maintenance man at the VA hospital and eventually secured his own apartment. The Los Angeles Mission isn't just a shelter, it's a lifeline for people like Taylor. The foundation provides not only meals and a safe place to sleep, but also counseling, job training, and addiction recovery programs. Their more natural approach addresses the root causes of homelessness, helping individuals regain independence and dignity. The mission's success stories are countless, and they stand as proof that with the right support, transformation is possible. What makes the mission even more impactful is its focus on community. Volunteers play a vital role in running programs and offering mentorship. Donors ensure that hot meals and clean beds are also available. For Taylor, the mission wasn't just a place to stay. It was where he rediscovered his purpose. He now gives back by volunteering and donating, paying forward to help the ones that are needed. Taylor's story is a testament to resilience and the power of second chances. And thanks to the Los Angeles mission, he turned his life around and found stability. Today, Taylor is a beacon of hope for others, proving that even when dreams take an unexpected turn, a new path can lead to something equally meaningful. If you'd like to be involved, or you'd like to get involved, or you'd like to donate, please log on to losangelesmission.org. That's losangelesmission.org. And I cannot believe, Mo, that I have donated and volunteered my time there, and I have fed during the Thanksgiving season, and I never mentioned this organization, and I'm a little embarrassed, but I was like, it's in my own backyard. And I had to mention it today, and I'm so glad that Angela Juarez emailed me and kind of sparked that idea once again.
Well, also sparking ideas. It's a new year.
Yes.
It might be that time where you may go through your closet and clean out some items that may be of use to someone else who is in more need of them.
Yes, it is that time that, the shelters need warm blankets and coats. We have 50 coats. We really only need 3. Those sweaters that maybe have a small little hole in you. You're like, I don't want to give it up, but I want to give it up.
Or they're just a little too small for you.
Yeah, they're a little medium. Yes, it is time to give them away. And, the mission could definitely use those donations as well. And also there is a list on the website, losangelesmission.org. If you have time, if you have a little few extra dollars, soap, toothpaste, Q-tips, wash rags, socks. Oh, it is winter. We are in need of socks. So anything that you could spend $1 on or donate from your own closet, as long as it's clean, of course, would be substantial and absolutely wonderful.
Going back to Taylor's story, I'm always amazed, and I'm always find myself admiring someone who is bold enough and daring enough to put all their stuff in a car or whatever, pack up and move to the other side of the country, chasing a dream where they may not have a full blueprint of how to get there, but they believe in themselves enough to at least try. Because honestly, if I didn't live in Los Angeles, I don't think I would have ended up in Los Angeles doing this, because I don't think I was that person. And it takes a brave person. And I know I'm looking at someone who went from one coast to the other. Mm-hmm. What goes through your mind? What possesses you to go where you don't know anyone? You don't have the place to live. You don't have that solid foundation to try.
For some people, I think, and I'm just speaking in general, I think it's one, we pay for the sunshine here and the palm trees, right? But I also think it's, that quick money. I want to be famous. I want to go out. And then a lot of these actors come, or, it's a dream that they have. And then the next thing you know, yes, they may get some gigs, or they may be, busing, or, being a waiter, or, it's really just kind of finding of who you are. And some people make it, some people don't, but I think we all have a dream regardless. And sometimes we may stump on some rocks in the road, but I love that Taylor knew that he needed the help. He got the help. He listened to the groundskeeper, and he made a life for himself. Might have not been the actor that he wanted, but just working at the VA hospital, he could help other people too.
I always say, do what you can.
Yes.
What you have, right where you are.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Nautica de la Cruz, how was your Christmas and New Year's?
My Christmas was wonderful. I went to the Bay Area, spent some time with my parents and my family. And I was so happy because I think, God really heard my prayers. They didn't get on my nerves.
And sometimes that's enough.
Yes.
I just want a holiday in which I didn't have to cuss everybody out.
And for New Year's Eve, I had a front row seat VIP in my living room. It was wonderful.
Oh, did you at least make it to midnight?
Yes, I did. I made it till 12:15.
And then you were out like a light.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, because I'm not going to say where I live, but there was, and I say this angrily, there was fireworks till about 2:00 in the morning.
You should be accustomed to that by now. There are fireworks in our neighborhood. I know Steph could attest to this. There are fireworks for a football game. There are fireworks. There are fireworks all year round for everything, including New Year's Eve. So,
man,
they had fireworks today, and I'm saying, what are you celebrating?
but it was fun. I do not believe in New Year's resolutions. I just I just believe in being a better human being.
Well, thank you for going on this journey with us. Thank you for sharing another hidden gem. Yes. And we'll see you soon.
Oh, yes. And I wanted to say thank you and Tawala so very much for, I just made a year here today. So I'm very excited.
We're going to keep it going.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Movies, TV, and pop culture, Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture, Rahner Report with Mark Rahner. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now. Mark Rahner right now.
Report with Mark Rahner.
It's Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeart app. I'm Mark Rahner. It's the Rahner Report. We haven't talked about Nosferatu yet, and it's worth catching up with, unlike a lot of major movies we just didn't get to this year, like, for instance, Ricky Stenicki. That's real. Or Kevin Spacey's glorious return in Peter 5'8". Okay, no. Or My Old Ass, which is also real.
Huh?
It may be good, but I just couldn't see myself getting to the ticket counter and saying, "One for my old ass, please." Maybe other people felt the same way. Nosferatu turned out to be maybe one of my favorite movies of the year. For starters, I went to the first show possible for me at 12:35 a.m. right after work. And of the 9 other people sad and sketchy enough to be in that theater with me at that time, 5 of them walked out of the movie. Here's some of the trailer, but not a lot because it's mostly visual, but the visuals are cool.
Does evil come from within us? Or from beyond?
Coach approaching a castle at night. I'm going to narrate the trailer.
He is coming.
He is coming.
Rats.
He is coming to us.
A guy biting the head off a pigeon. Ozzy Osbourne, no.
He's coming.
Who is coming to my child?
Like I said, mostly visual, but the visuals are really well done. But the movie's not a real crowd pleaser, and I got to tell you, that doesn't really mean anything. In this case, it's like weeding out people on the tour bus from Indiana when you stop at a sushi restaurant and they're like, "We don't like raw fish. Where's the MF and Cracker Barrel?" Off with you, Jethro. Get what you like. If I remind you that Raiders of the Lost Ark was an attempt to give the old adventure movie serials the best treatment possible in a modern film, it might not be 100% of a correct comparison with Nosferatu and the original German silent one from 1922, but it's something to keep in mind because it does flesh out that old movie with incredible faith to it, attention to detail, a feeling of dread, an old school sincerity and terror that left me feeling like if the original director, F.W. Murnau, had had the resources to do this 100 years ago, maybe it would look like this. And when this new one made choices of its own, I liked every one of them. The main one is to give the vampire, Count Orlok, played by Bill Skarsgård, a different look than the vampire in the original, which, by the way, is reproduced pretty much exactly in the Stephen King Salem's Lot miniseries, which you should put on your list if you've never seen that. I know it's streaming. Even if you've never seen Nosferatu or Salem's Lot, you know the image. It's an iconic image of Count Orlok, bald, pointed ears, 2 huge front fangs, wide-eyed. Looks kind of like Pitbull, the rapper. You don't get a good look at the new Orlok for a while, but he's like a recently dead corpse, and I felt like I could almost smell him coming off the screen. He's got a mustache like the Dracula in Bram Stoker's original novel, and Nosferatu was a ripoff of that book, by the way. More or less the same story, different location, differently named characters, nearly sued out of existence by the Stoker estate, but prints of the movie survived. And also, Count Orlok in this new one has a magnificently thick accent. Well, of course. Why wouldn't he? An undead guy from Transylvania, Romania, whatever. He's not going to sound like Christopher Lee in real life. Not that we have living dead people in real life, but we're going to keep moving. Since I'm more or less a heterosexual male, you're not going to, more or less, you're not going to hear me talking about a movie's wardrobe very often. And I don't compliment people in the office on their shoes either. But if the costume people for this movie don't get an Oscar nomination, nothing makes any sense. Just give it to the people who make the warm-up suits in Squid Game. Also, I kind of want one of those. Same for the sets and locations here. It is a terrific-looking movie, and I want to find out how they did everything they did, because it's like you're back there and you can smell the rats too. The whole thing's immersive, and it's all under the director whose name is Robert Eggers. He's also done The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman. Your mileage may vary on each of those, but they're all worth seeing. I'll admit The Lighthouse irritated me a little, but I still wouldn't miss it. Eggers is a really distinctive filmmaker with an absolute obsession for detail. And if you could buy stock in him, I'd go full Jim Cramer on you and tell you he's going to be big. Buy it all. Bet it all. All the actors in this movie, they sell this florid, old-school dialogue. Willem Dafoe, in particular, looks like he's having a ball as the not Van Helsing character. Remember, it's a ripoff of Dracula. Nicholas Hoult, who is contractually in everything now, really sells the terror as the not Jonathan Harker character who's sent to Orlok in the first place to have him sign real estate papers. Even Aaron Taylor Johnson, who is still kind of steaming from that Craven turd that we saw a few weeks ago, he shows some range I was not aware he had as another absolutely not Bram Stoker character who handles the whole vampire and rat plague situation fairly poorly. Nosferatu is not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Remember those walkouts? I think those made me like it more. And I've also read quite a number of reports of people laughing at the dialogue. And that's a risky run when you play a period thing straight and earnestly. It took me into the next day to process what I saw, and then I wanted to see it again. Also, if you remember The Last Voyage of the Demeter.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, from last year. That would make a great warm-up or double bill with this. That is the story of the ship transporting either Dracula or Orlok, whose crew keeps shrinking because they're the food. But still, you'd be less likely to get sick from them than on one of Mo's fancy diarrhea cruise ship buffets.
Huh?
That's your Rahner report, Mo.
I was seriously going to ask you about The Last Voyage of the Demeter, because I know that is from a chapter in Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I wonder if there was any overlap or there were seemingly any, not a tie-in, but you could see where they had the same affectation or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the story is familiar. We've seen it over and over and over again. And so they kind of shorthand the ship trip, the ship voyage in Nosferatu. Sorry, had a brain fart there. But the whole, you could watch both of them and they complement each other perfectly. And by the way, that Demeter movie wound up being one of last year's most fun horror movies.
It was not bad. I watched it, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and I was home. I had time. It's like, this is not bad. Would I have paid for it? No. But watching it, I was not disappointed. I watched it from beginning to end.
Yeah, it's what our parents or grandparents would have called a good little B movie.
It was a B movie.
Even though we don't have B movies anymore, and I guess people don't really know what that is, but it wasn't like a big tentpole blockbuster film with massive stars in it, but it was lots of fun and well done.
Here's the progression. There were B movies. There were straight to video, direct to video movies. I would think this would be a perfect for this generation. It was a Netflix movie, a streaming movie.
Yeah, I think it's streaming now, so it's well worth your time catching up on it. If we have a couple minutes left,
we do.
I want to recommend a movie called The Primevals, which I caught over the holidays, which is a movie that took decades to finish. People died before it was finished. I caught it streaming on Shudder. You can find it probably in a number of different streaming places. It's lots of fun. It's kind of a cheap adventure horror action flick from an outfit called Full Moon. I kept trying to imagine it as an old Universal picture with a proper monster in it. It's about an expedition to one of the poles, north, south, I forget, to find a giant Yeti. And it's beautiful, old school stop motion animation. And it's tons and tons of fun. Primevals. Check that one out.
Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
With death.
I'm sold. I'm in.
Like if Rudolph killed Sherpas. Yes.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Oh, later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Here's something that sounds good on its face, but as you read more about it, I'm not so sure I would want to participate. When I tell you about National Popcorn Day on January 19th, you probably say, what? There's a National Popcorn Day? Yes, there is. For whoever who wants to celebrate. Cinemark, national theater chain, has announced its first ever Bring Your Own Bucket. And it's a promotion, of course, is connected to National Popcorn Day on January 19th. Here's how it goes. Customers can bring in a clean container, thank you for that, clean container of their choice, and fill it with fresh popcorn for just $5. No movie ticket necessary. So let me break it down for you. If you bring in your container and also pay $5, you can get a whole bunch of movie popcorn. It does not give you a ticket to a movie. You're paying $5 for popcorn, where you could probably pay $2 or $3 at the grocery store and get the same amount of popcorn and watch a movie at home. But this Cinemark is advertising where you bring in your $5, your bucket, hopefully it's clean, and they'll fill it up. And then you have to drive your ass back home because you're not gaining entrance to the theater. You're just getting the popcorn that they're giving away. I get the thinking. Well, you're already at the theater. You already have some piping hot popcorn. You might as well do it in conjunction with seeing a movie. I don't know if that would be encouragement enough for me. For me. You need to give me something more because it's not like, hey, on this day, buy a movie ticket. In other words, you're actually going to get something and we'll give you the free popcorn. No, they're saying pay for the popcorn and that's all you get.
Aren't you excited to see the kind of things people bring in?
Oh, yeah. They're probably bringing in like trash cans.
Trash cans, bedpans, just anything lying around the house.
Anything. But you still got to pay. It's not like it's free.
How much is popcorn usually? I haven't bought popcorn at a movie theater.
At a movie theater?
Years.
Oh, it could be anywhere from $7 to $10. I'm sure, for like a normal. I don't get popcorn all that often, but nothing's cheap at a movie theater, so
it's pricey.
Okay, Poosh, you got some last time we all went together, didn't you?
Yeah, Mo's right. It could be like $10, $12 depending on the size that you get.
Well, that's how they make their money in the concession.
Yes, yeah, and I get the strategy. They want you in the venue. If you're in the venue, albeit just to get popcorn, you're probably going to see a movie. It just doesn't move me because if you said, hey, free popcorn and discounted movie tickets, well, maybe, okay, you might have something there.
Well, I think the movie theater chains know that you, Mo Kelly, are the Mikey of life cereal of movie popcorn. So they're doing all sorts of things to induce you to buy it. Like the vessels that they've been coming up with lately, like the really disturbing one for Dune or the alien head. That stuff's fun. I want that stuff.
You forgot Deadpool and Wolverine.
I didn't get one of those either. I want that too.
That one was very suggestive. I mean, it was an open mouth. It was wide open.
What did it suggest exactly, Mo?
It was suggesting that something was going to go in the mouth other than popcorn.
Interesting.
There are pictures of it all over the internet. It's very clear what they're hinting at. Yeah. But usually I don't get movie style popcorn unless it's free. But if I have to pay for it, what's the point? It doesn't have the same type of ring to it. It doesn't have the same appeal.
This is weird because everybody loves movie popcorn. Everybody. Except for you.
But it has to start with the movie. That's my point. I'm going to the movies and also get some popcorn. I'm not going to the movies to get some popcorn and no movie. Do you understand what I mean?
You just can't be pleased is what I understand.
I'm complicated like
People
that.
Are bending over backward to accommodate you and you're not having any of it.
There was a joke there, but I'm just going to let it pass by.
Backward, not forward.
Thank you.
Indifference Therapy. KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.